Guys, I'm looking at UFC 300. Which one of these guys is going to blink first? Because there's zero chance that these fights come off. Where we're at 300, we got Wei Lee with Jan. We got Gaethje and Max. What an interesting one, by the way. I mean, I love Max versus Justin. But that is such a special fight and special parity of two different weight classes, not to mention it's going to be the first ever defense of the BMF title. And I love it. I truly love it. But nobody ever called for this fight. None of you called for it. Max didn't call for it. Justin didn't call for it. It's a surprise. It's a real treat. But both of these guys had better open their eyes and figure out why this belt has never been defended. And they better figure out why is it being defended this time. And most importantly, that they figure that out is so that whoever wins when this is done, they can take the microphone and make their move from there and demand that it be defended. I can't give you guys any more clues. You're going to have to get yourself there on that. Then you got Oliveira versus Arm. Awesome fight. Big problem, though. Allegedly, whoever wins that fight draws into Islam. Charles doesn't want to fight Islam, according to Charles. He's fought him, doesn't want to fight him again, wants to fight somebody else. Was happy to fight Arum because Arum is not named Islam. Paper cut above the eye 3 different times on social media. Bury a main event, to hell with an entire card if that's what it takes. He is not going to fight Islam. So where is the motivation, though? And that's a really tough one, right? Because Charles was put in that same spot with Benny. When he fought Benny, it was the same deal. Here, fight Benny. Why? Because his name's not Islam. Great, I'll do it. Okay, the winner fights Islam. Okay, well, I'm not fighting Islam. Well, the winner of this fight fights Islam. Well, yeah, but I'm not going to fight Islam. Well, the winner of this fight fights Islam. So where would your motivation be, right? How would you possibly have a motivation if you didn't like the reward? But he was able to find it. And he was able to compartmentalize and put them in 2 separate things. I want to beat Benny. I am not going to fight Islam. I'll deal with this tonight. I'll deal with that later. So it's a real juxtaposition. You could see a really great Charles Oliveira. If Charles wins this fight, though, it's not going to change the fact that he's not going to fight Islam. We'll save that thought for another day. Rajik coming back. Welcome back to Rajik. I really thought when Rajik returned, he was going to return at heavyweight. There was Rajik sightings. I saw him from camera. I didn't get to see him in person, but there was Rajik sightings since he's been injured. And he's going about 240-some pounds. Beautiful, too. Looked the right way. I just assumed he was coming back at heavyweight. He's going to pull back down to his weight class of 205 pounds. And 205 is a very different weight class when Rajik's in it. And for some reason, he was like the forgotten guy. I mean, injuries will slow anybody down, but it slowed him in ways that are incomparable to other people that have been put in that same position. At any rate, Rajik is back. He's got Prohaska. Right? I mean, that's a world title fight. Maybe Prohaska didn't have the belt right now, but that's a guy that did have the world title. That fight needs to happen. This fight needed to happen a little over a year ago. Great, we're going to get to that. Now, you want to know a fight that I guarantee you is going to happen? Calvin Kattar versus Aljo Sterling. There's some fights that just don't feel like fights, and there's some guys that fight, but they don't want to fight each other, and you can feel that. You can feel when, okay, I got punched in, this is the job I do, I got to walk out there and do it. You can feel, then you can feel some other guys that for sure are going to fight. And whatever that's based around, you wish that they'd come out and tell you, the audience, because you don't always know, but you can feel it. You can feel, I want to fight you, and I want to fight you, and that's what we got with Kattar versus Aljo. Then we take a look at Nickel and Cody. I'm told that's a main card fight. I can't confirm that for you guys yet, because I'm at UFC 300 and we're told that card isn't done. There's only room for so many, but I'm told that that's a main card fight. And I will tell you one thing about Cody. Cody's got a record of 10-5, and you might think that's not a beautiful record. He does have beautiful skills. Cody has very beautiful skills, and I've watched those matches that he's lost. And what happened with Cody in all 5 of those losses is he found himself in a fight that was harder than he thought it was going to be. Each one of those matches where he got second place, partway through the match is where he gets discovered that his opponent had a skill set that he didn't previously know the opponent had. And that's just not an ingredient of this fight. Cody's a former wrestler himself. He will know exactly what he's getting into with Bo Nickal. He will know exactly how to take care of himself for up to 15 minutes. This fight right here, Nickal's the favorite. He should be. It's a very different fight than you think it's going to be. And if you think this is a 1 minute or even a 5 minute squash match, Nickal versus Cody is a very different fight than you think it's going to be. And then you got Figueiredo versus Garbrandt. I mean, I try to talk to you guys about the power of a call out. This fight's got nothing on it other than Cody called him out. When Cody called him out, there was no better idea. Lord knows Davidson didn't go do himself anything, try to get himself any matches. Nobody else was going in those directions. All of a sudden, by proxy, simply by proxy of default, it was the perfect fight. And you know what? It is. Cody Garbrandt versus Deiveson Figueiredo. That's a fight, man. And right now, for the list that I just read you, those guys are jerking the curtain. I don't think that'll be the final analysis, but they're going to be very early on in the evening, which just speaks to what a special night 300 is shaping up to be.